All right. Welcome back to the Let's Talk Ball pod. This is your host, Tochi, aka Toch Talks Ball. And as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Spain. It is episode 37. We are going to be reacting to Game Week 9 and looking ahead to Game Week 10. It was another weekend of action in the Premier League. United got another win, so I'm happy. But just so you know, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the pod real quick. We are some footy fans that love to talk footy, specifically the Premier League on here. We'll do deep dives on Arsenal and United each week, but just try and touch on everything. And yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown there. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with a friend. Let us know how we might be able to improve, all that. Before we jump into the pod for this week, Spain, how are you?
Good, doing well. I got to see Arsenal win another game of the weekend. I went to Austin to visit my brother. My parents came. We went and saw Mumford & Sons Friday night, so that was a great time. Good weekend out there. Yeah, doing well. How are you?
I am good. Celebrated Courtney's birthday this weekend. Celebrated my girlfriend's birthday on Friday and Saturday, so had a little bit of a day both of those days, and it was nice being able to celebrate a Manchester United win alongside that rather than having to cheer myself up after a loss. So that was great. But yeah, outside of that, just a nice little weekend of footy. El Clasico on Sunday was a fun one. Things got chippy at the end there. I loved seeing it feels like there's some bad blood back in that rivalry again after Lamine Yamal talked shit to Real Madrid for, 3 or 4 wins in a row from Barcelona, and it seemed like they got their lick back this weekend, so that was fun.
Yeah, Mbappe had a good game, had a nice goal that didn't count, and then had a goal that did count, so he's on it.
Yeah, I feel like Mbappe is having I guess people are talking about it, but I feel like not a lot of people are talking about how he's putting up some pretty crazy numbers right now. It seems like he's really kind of figured out that striker position over at Real Madrid. And just really quickly on that game, I feel like Xabi Alonso's got them kind of figuring it out. Like, I think they look way more organized. They were like pressing high. They were causing Barcelona problems like defensively, which I don't think is something you associate with Real Madrid. Usually you're talking more about what they can do on the ball, but I thought they looked really good off the ball as well. So it looks like he's doing a good job there.
It was cool that he's using Arda Güler a lot and changing up the squad and playing some players that weren't getting any playing time, especially him.
Yeah.
More than, I don't know if there's anyone else really that wasn't playing, that's playing more than they were under their previous coach. But yeah, cool to see Arda Güler get a lot of minutes for Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid.
Yeah, I'm also enjoying seeing Jude back. I missed him at the beginning of the season, but he looks like he's really finding his feet, getting up to speed, finding his match fitness, and ready to take on the world. I really, really liked his assist for Mbappe's goal. I think it kind of flew under the radar, but he did really nicely. He was just kind of floating between the lines and did just the cheekiest little fake, like he was going to run in behind and then drop back to receive to create some separation between him and the center back, and that gave him time to receive on the ball. And then he threw Pedri, who's the master of this, he threw Pedri a little fake, like he was going to play the ball out to the right, did a quick turn around and turned back inside and just perfectly placed the ball in behind for Mbappe. And I thought it was just really, really good midfield play that didn't quite get enough love. So I wanted to give that a quick shout out before we jump into the Premier League stuff.
Nice.
But now that we're here, let's talk Game Week 9 of the Premier League. As always, we want to start with our Game Week 9 awards, where we talk about our winners of the week, losers, who's on fraud watch, what was our goal of the week, match of the week, all that. And so let's start from the top. Who would you say was your winner of the week?
It's got to be Arsenal, with us picking up a win and then seeing Liverpool and City both lose. We've got a little bit of separation between them in first place, so I say our title challenge is the winner, and I feel pretty good about it at the moment. What about you?
Yeah, I can get behind that. I think it was a crazy weekend seeing that City lost and Chelsea lost and Liverpool, and then Arsenal got it should not be understated how good or how well Crystal Palace have been playing this season. And so to go get a 1-0 win against them, I think was huge for you guys, especially as far as title race goes. It looks like you guys are putting a healthy lead between you and everybody else that you seem to be competing with. So that's definitely a great shout for winner. And then my other winner, which is kind of related here, because Sunderland were one of the teams that beat Chelsea. All three promoted teams, all of them won their matches this weekend. Burnley beat Wolves, Sunderland beat Chelsea, and then Leeds had beaten who'd they play on Friday?
West Ham.
West Ham. And so some of those Premier League teams, Wolves in trouble, still have yet to win a game. It's looking brutal
on
for them.
2 points.
I thought they were gonna maybe figure it out. Like, I don't know. I thought they have some promising pieces in the way they finished last season, but it looks like they're missing Mateus Cunha way, way more than we thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
And then West Ham look like they're in shambles. Nottingham Forest hopefully will turn it around. Not a good start for Sean Dyche in the Premier League, but
yeah, Forest have scored 5 goals this season. That's terrible.
That's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And I mean, I kind of feel bad for Sean Dyche because the goals that they gave up this weekend were pretty. I don't know if I would necessarily blame him for them. Like, one was an Olympico, I believe, that was just like straight from the corner by Tavernier, and then the other one was a Krupi long shot from I felt like 25 yards out. Where I need to rewatch that one and figure out what happened. I don't know if he just wrong-footed Sal's, if it was just that good of a finish, but 2 tough goals to give up for them. But I did think they looked pretty defensively solid outside of those moments. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the promoted teams and underdogs are my winners of the week. And then loser of the week, what are you thinking?
I mean, for me, Liverpool, 4 losses in a row is terrible. They're in a really bad run of form at the moment. They did win last midweek, but 4 losses in a row in the Premier League. They're just not looking good. They're giving up early goals. They're conceding a lot of goals. Just don't know how to sort themselves out at the moment.
Yeah, I was trying to find a way not to make it them. Honestly, I'm starting to feel bad just piling it on at this point each week. Like, it started out as it's pretty funny when they lost the first one and the second one, and now it's hitting 3 from United. So I had to feel good about that one. By the 4th one, I'm like, oof, it's looking rough out there. And I would like to switch up the FPL meta a little bit. I need some Liverpool picks in there, but it seems like they're not going to figure it out anytime soon. So
yeah, I'm staying away from them.
On that. Yeah. My other loser of the week was Chelsea. I think obviously they're missing Cole Palmer, who's their best player, so you got to cut him some slack there. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people were really, really high on them coming into the season. Maybe not title contenders, but they're going to be in and around the title race, and it's definitely not over for them by any means. They've had a rough go at it with the red cards and some tough luck, but I don't know. Sunderland at home seems like a game that you got to do better than what they did, and I'll talk about it later when I get to the funny moment of the week, but just the way they lost also, I think, just was pretty brutal. So I got to put them up as my vote for loser of the week.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they definitely should be Sunderland, you'd think, but I mean, Sunderland up to 4th, so good for them. They're a really good team.
Yeah, they are. They put together a really good promoted squad. I think they've been the benefit of having a softer start to their season. I think they've played Wolves, Villa, Burnley. Their only losses against United, and they've got, I think in their next 6, they've got Arsenal, City, and Liverpool all coming in 3 of the next 6, maybe with Crystal Palace in there as well. So they're going to have a real test, but I think hopefully they can ride the confidence that they've built to start the season and keep it going, because I love seeing them in and around and up in the mix. So hopefully more wins to come for Sunderland. Let's move on to our match of the week. Since we were just talking about it, I would say Chelsea versus Sunderland, but I think you're the one that put that in the notes, so why would you say that?
I mean, I had a hard time picking match of the week because I don't think anything was that great. I didn't watch all the games, but I saw all the highlights for the most part. I didn't think any of the games were outstanding, but Sunderland getting that late winner was exciting. I'll get on to moments of the week, but in a second. But there were a couple other games with late winners in them, but just mostly for the late win. For Sunderland, and that being a big win over Chelsea for them.
Yeah, and we can just go straight into the moments of the week as well, because I did enjoy all the late winners. We saw one in the Burnley Wolves game as well.
And Newcastle also got a late winner. So my moments of the week were the 3 late winners, just because they were pretty exciting and came really late in the game for each of those. And I couldn't think of any other outstanding moments of the week. So for that reason, those late winners were my moments of the week, and same reason why Sunderland vs Chelsea was in there.
Yeah, I'll give you that for sure. I missed the Burnley late winner, but I think it was Fleming twice. I think he scored the one at the end as well.
He scored the first two. It was their striker, Lyle
Oh,
Foster.
Lyle Foster. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and it was
Nice.
Hannibal came out, had a really nice assist for that goal.
My boy
So
Carrington.
he's making up for his handball earlier in the season.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. That guy's kind of a head case, but I
Yeah.
do want to see him do well eventually. Just at least, if anything, to put a good name on the United Academy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the Newcastle winner was a little bit interesting. I mean, they piled on the pressure, and it was good for them to get a shot on goal. But you'd think that Leno should do a little bit better with that. He spilled it directly, almost back into the middle, almost at the middle of the 6-yard box, and Bruno Guimaraes just comes in and cleans it up. I feel like he's one that seems to be struggling a little bit from what I can tell at Fulham. I think he's been to blame for a few of Fulham's goals this week. And so that's kind of a brutal way for them to lose, but good for Newcastle. They seem to be putting together some good performances recently and hopefully trying to ride that momentum because they had a poor start to the season.
Yeah. I think they've got the second best defensive record in the league, so that'll help them out if they can keep the performances going and stay consistent.
Yeah. And now let's move on to our goals of the week. I will let you take the start here as well.
Yeah, my favorite, there were some pretty good goals this weekend. My favorite was the Fleming first goal. A ball came over the top and he took a first-time volley at it. It was very Van Persie-esque, very coolly taken, just kind of placed in the corner first time. I really like how he, just the technique and the skill to hit it out of the air when the ball was played through ball over the top to him. It's really well taken, coolly taken goal.
Yeah,
and he bagged himself a brace too after that.
Yeah, so he's good for it. I agree. I think the way he just I just was watching the highlights before this just to catch up on the goals, and I let out an audible like, ooh. Like just like it was just so, like you said, so nonchalant, so cleanly taken. Just let me place that right there as if that was like a super easy thing to do.
Exactly. What was your goal of the week?
Mine was probably the Krupi long shot. I thought he took it really well, but also the other part for me that I enjoyed of it is obviously we've got a friend, Bert, who has been obsessed with this Krupi guy. He's been all over the young French strikers or players from the French league. And, I like seeing Krupi get his shine a little bit. It's a little bit unbearable hearing Bert in the group message try and be like, I'm the best, I think were his exact words. But still, good goal from Krupi. I'm glad to see that he's getting his chance in the Premier League. I think Emma Nilsson is a really good player that does a lot for Bournemouth, but not quite a prolific goal scorer, versus Krupi, on the other hand, is someone that lives and breathes by scoring goals. So it's nice to see a different style of striker play for Bournemouth, and seeing a young player take his chance.
Yeah, definitely. Looking up Obucheri's team. Okay, he started Krupi this week at least.
He did. I reminded him of the deadline so that he didn't forget.
Nice. So you can take a little more credit this time, having started Krupi.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to watch. Did you see Matty Cash's goal? Was that any good?
Yeah, it was. He was outside the box, cut in on his left foot and hit it kind of. He was going from right to left, got to the center of the ball, just kind of whipped it kind of back the other way, side netting with lots of power. It was a nice goal.
Nice.
The Salah goal was also really nice. We were talking about that before the pod started. Just nice touch and really quick finish into the upper 90 by Salah.
Yeah, plucked it out of the air like a little 1-2. That was very nice.
And then I want to give an honorable mention for the assist of the week to Damsgaard. I loved his through ball. He played to Shada for his goal against Liverpool. Really talked about Damsgaard a lot last season because his technical abilities, passing range, his vision. Really fun player, but the composure, get the ball, pick his head up, and play a really nice weighted through ball along the ground to split Van Dijk and Konate to put Shade through is really nice.
Yeah, dude's a baller for sure. Let's see, let's move on to our last few awards for the week. Let's talk Fraud Watch. Who are you putting on Fraud Watch? I think last week, who did we have? Probably Liverpool, I assume, or I can't even remember who we had on Fraud Watch.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Actually, let me scroll down. It's right here. We had Nottingham Forest ownership, and then Liverpool and Virgil van Dijk and Salah. So Liverpool still on Fraud Watch, haven't beat the allegations. Nottingham Forest are debatable, but I'll give them some more time, see how this Dyche appointment goes. But who else you got?
Might be a little late to put them on fraud watch, but I put Wolves. As we previously mentioned, they're only on 2 points, which is terrible. Yeah, it's hard to say that they're on fraud watch because it's been so bad since the start of the season. They're just straight up bad and maybe frauds at this point. But I couldn't think of anyone else for this week, so I had to put down Wolves.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I think I'll put them on fraud watch because I expected them to be bad. I just didn't expect them to be that bad. I feel like each week I keep picking Wolves to get a draw versus because they've been playing some bad teams recently too. It's not even like they're playing the top teams in the league. So I'm like, maybe they'll get a point. They're at home. Like they can't be that bad, right? But they just cannot seem to figure it out. Good on them for fighting back in the game. They did go down 2-0 to Burnley and then fought back to make it 2-2, but then to give up a late winner, unfortunately, is just not good enough. So I can get behind that. With
where they are too in the table, and against Burnley, someone who should be towards the bottom of the table come the end of the season, you really got to pick up a point there with how bad of a start you've had. You cannot give up that goal at the end to lose at home too.
Yeah. Totally agree. Do you
have anyone else for that one?
No, I don't think so. Man City's close.
Yeah.
If they lose another one, I'll get on them. But everyone can have a bad week. And Man City, fun fact, is actually lost to Aston Villa away at Villa Park 3 times in a row now over the last 3 years. So something about Villa Park and Unai Emery that Pep can just not figure out.
And then what's your funny moment of the week?
My funny moment of the week, I guess it's not that funny, but it was funny to me. Chelsea's goal that they lost to Sunderland on. Sunderland gets the ball deep in their own half, and they just hoof it up to the other half, and Brian Broby chases it down. And it felt like rewatching the replay, it felt like he just had the ball and was just not doing anything for 10 seconds. Both the Chelsea defenders and him just all kind of froze, and just it was almost like as if Chelsea was just waiting for Sunderland to get in position. And then you're like, okay, now we can go again. And so I just thought it was hilarious just the way that they lost that game. I don't really know what happened. I don't know if Chelsea players just thought that their defenders were going to, figure it out, so they didn't feel like tracking back that hard. I don't know what Chalobah was thinking, maybe not doubling up, or maybe I guess he was covering space, but I don't know. It was just a calamitous goal, I feel like, to give up in hindsight.
Yeah, way too easy for Broby just sit in the box and hold up the ball, like you said, for 10 seconds. If that was Gabriel defending him, there's no way he would have been able to have that much time, and he'd been pushed back, pushed off the ball or something.
Yeah, they didn't try. It felt like they didn't try and make it hard for him at all. They just kind of put a hand on his back to be like, "Hey, I'm here." But then they didn't realize we actually probably need to tackle him.
Yeah, this is a dangerous position we're in.
Yeah,
do something.
Yeah, this is the end of the game. We could potentially lose if we don't get the ball back. So it just felt like a lack of respect. But I don't know. It was funny to be watching the replay. So that's mine.
Nice.
Anything for you? Do you want to move over to the hot take?
Nah, I didn't have any funny moments really from the weekend.
All right. So final award is where we kind of give any sort of hot takes or overreactions to the week. What do you have for me here?
I don't know if it's that hot at the moment, but I think all 3 promoted sides will stay up. They're all looking good right now, and it's more so. It's not that surprising, I would take, given where their position is in the table. But it would be crazy for all 3 of them to stay up, because I don't know when the last time that's happened. In the past 2 seasons, all 3 promoted teams have gone down. So that would be a big change up from what's happened recently to the promoted sides.
Yeah. No, I can get behind that for sure. They all look really good. Especially Sunderland and Leeds both look like legitimate teams. Burnley, not bad either. They're still getting their results. And so for them, all 3 promoted teams to be where they're at in the table at this point in the season is crazy. Me personally, that was something that I was saying at the beginning of the season that I would love to see, and it looks like it's working out pretty nicely. So let's hope the promoted sides can keep it up.
Yeah. Did you have one?
Then, not really. I might have I don't want to overreact to United. I don't think that they're going to do anything too crazy out of the ordinary from what I thought at the beginning of the season, but I thought about putting something about United there, but I'll leave it there for now.
All right. That's fair.
So that's it for the GW9 Awards, and covering the rest of the league. Let's do some quick deep dives into United and Arsenal. You want to start with Arsenal?
Sure. So we beat Crystal Palace 1-0 on Sunday. It was another game where we just kind of took care of business for the most part, didn't give up many chances to Crystal Palace. Our defense has been great, as it has been all season. I think we've given up maybe like one shot on target this month. No goals scored in October so far. We've got one game in the midweek, but our defense has just been absolutely on fire. In terms of team selection, it was unchanged from the last game in the Premier League last weekend against Fulham. And then as they scored, he had a nice volley, like jumping scissor kick-ish goal. I've seen him score that goal before, seen him hit shots like that before. I don't know what it is about that, but he loves like that jumping like scissor kick. He scored that same goal against us last year. Yeah. He tried that early in the season, nearly scored. He just loves that. He's got that technique down. So it was a really well-taken goal, and I love that finish from him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool to see. And I feel like, it just had to be Eze against Palace, right?
He did a little celebration, which I liked. I don't like when players like completely hold their hands up and it looks kind of weird. I like a subdued celebration. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's... It was at home, so it might be a little different if he was at Palace Stadium. But I liked like the subdued celebration still because it was a sweet goal. You got to celebrate a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. It looked like he didn't want to celebrate at first, but then he did his usual kind of point to God celebration. Which I mean, fair enough. Just giving thanks to the Most High. But I'll let you keep going.
And then, other than that, chances, Gabriel hit the crossbar off a header. He's an absolute monster. Actually, I'm really surprised he did not get the assist for Eze's goal. Pretty thankful because I don't own him.
I was so annoyed by that. I forgot about that. I texted Todd immediately. I was like, that's got to be a Gabriel assist, right?
Yeah, I don't know what they saw there because I'm almost positive he made contact with the ball. So I don't know why Rice got the assist and it didn't go to Gabriel if he touched the ball. Yeah. But whatever, I'll take it. And then from that chance where Gabriel hit the crossbar, it came out and to Saka, who had a sweet curler that just was like a foot wide. That would have been a really sick goal by him. Yeah. Saliba went off at halftime. Mascara came on and did great. Looked really solid as he has all season. Which, speaking of Mascara, he's been an incredible signing. Just to come in that young and to slot in as a center back, which is not an easy position to get into and look comfortable when you're not getting a lot of reps. He's been incredible for us at his age and incredible signing by us. I know that's one thing that's killing Liverpool is not having a good backup center back signing. Props to Arsenal's management team for getting that deal done.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. I think you did very, very well this summer to be like, depth is not going to be our issue this year for sure. Like we've seen it. It's happened to us a couple seasons in a row. Like we're going to make sure we have a full squad and maybe a half at this point.
Yeah, Hincapié came on. I think that was his home debut. He might have come on once in the Premier League before that. He wasn't on for long, so hard to see. Miles Skelly came on at the end for like a little back five action to see out the game. Rice went off, hoping he had some type of like little injury, hoping it's not serious. Saka went off early because of illness that he had during the week. So I'm hoping everyone is fit come next weekend. In terms of
what happened with Saliba? Was that just
I don't know.
Hopefully just rotation.
I would be surprised if like halftime. Maybe he was just fatigued. I really have no idea. I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
But hoping Saka, Saliba, and Rice are fine. We did turn the ball over a little bit more than, especially in the midfield, than I like to see than we usually do. I feel like Palace were kind of setting up for that, like letting us pass and try and pounce on those so they can counter quickly. That seems like that's a game plan of theirs is like Sarr to hop on. Like Sarr took one off the feet or intercepted a pass and drove forward quickly. Wharton's really great at springing those passes early, so I know that's like kind of Crystal Palace's game plan. So it worked for them to create some chances. But thankfully, our defense is good enough to where we didn't really give up too big of a chance from any of those turnovers. But we'd like to be a little cleaner, ideally. Yeah,
I was watching that. I think, actually, good on him for scoring the goal, but I thought Eze actually was giving the ball away more than I expected him to. I know he's someone that likes to take a risk and whatnot, but I just felt like there was a certain point where he was probably 50% pass completion or something like that, and at least in that first half when I was watching.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I noticed as well. He definitely brings a different positives and negatives to the team versus Odegaard. Like Odegaard wouldn't have scored that goal, but Odegaard might have created something else for us and not turned it over as much. Even like Zubamendi turned it over a few times, which is pretty rare for him.
Yeah.
But other than that, like Raya had a good game. He did really well to claim that cross that went to Nketiah, who like nearly got his head on it towards the end of the game. But other than that, like just a really solid performance by us again. Our defense has been outstanding and really just stifled Crystal Palace and didn't give up hardly anything today or over the weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good performance from you guys. Like the Crystal Palace is a banana peel game for any team in the league. I think Oliver Glasner does really, really well at exploiting teams' weaknesses and making those games really difficult. So I don't think it's any knock on Arsenal to have gotten out of there with 3 points. One thing that I have been seeing on Twitter, I mean, maybe this is just kind of a recurring theme. I feel like I ask you about him every week, but Gyökeres is just getting absolutely killed on Twitter the last couple of days. I didn't really I don't know. I thought he was fine. Like I didn't really notice anything too bad in the game, I thought. But there's a Sesko comp that's out right now of his like kind of season highlights or whatever. That there's one in particular that's going like pretty viral on Twitter. And I've seen multiple different Arsenal accounts actually quoting it, being like, I can't believe we went and got Gyökeres over this guy and this and that and whatnot. And so I just thought that's been funny to see on Twitter the last couple of days.
Yeah, there was a couple times I got annoyed with Gyökeres not getting on the ball. It looked like he was in a position to get on a through ball, and then Lacroix would come over and close him out. And Lacroix is a good defender, and I think he's pretty fast. But I would like to see Gyökeres, lose a few pounds and be a little quicker because he's not the quickest, I'll be honest. And I'm not going to drag Gyökeres. He had 2 goals in the midweek against Atletico Madrid, and we won the game. But I would like to see him more mobile and lose a little bit of weight because he's just not that quick.
Yeah, I feel like he's really powerful straight line runner. Like if you can get him going north south, I'm thinking about it like a running back. Like get him going north south. Like I think he's hard to stop. But he definitely just kind of turns like a freight train a little bit, and not that mobile, like you said. And the other thing about him is I think he works hard. He's so determined. I like his attitude, but I don't think anything he does looks easy. If that makes sense. I don't think he's I feel like there's certain players that they look so nonchalant with their playing versus I feel like he looks like he's really trying whenever he's doing anything. Which hopefully he can, which to me, I guess to elaborate on that, feels like not like he's struggling to keep up with the pace, but he really, really has to try to keep up with the pace. So like you said, it would be nice to maybe see him get a little bit lighter, a little bit more nimble, because he's kind of big, but not the best at even really dueling and winning those duels. So maybe try and find a different bag as far as maybe be a little bit more nimble and hard to get a hold of instead.
To be fair though, for him as well, he did come into a new team, the hardest league in the world, and is playing 90 minutes basically every single game, twice a week. We've got no cover for him. He has to be exhausted. I'm also going to give him the benefit of the doubt, him not being at his best and at his quickest, because he's playing a ton of minutes. Like you said, working his ass off in every single game, playing 490s, stretching the defense for us. He's still making all the runs for us. He just looks pretty tired out there.
I did like a tweet actually today that was Havertz coming back into the team. Someone said Havertz coming back into the team will be probably the best thing for Gyökeres, just because he'll get a little bit of relief. He'll have maybe a second striker option to work off of if they ever play together at the same time. I think they would complement each other well. But at the very least, just give him a little bit of rest as well to maybe be a little bit more fresh.
I'd love to have Gyökeres come on for the last 15, 20 minutes in some games and be against tired defenders when he's fresh and have him run at defenders, bully the defenders, exactly what I was going to say. I'd like to see more from Gyökeres, but he's playing tons of minutes, so I'm going to hold judgment on him this early.
I gotcha. So, big win for you guys. Really big for the title charge implications for you,
Yeah, great. We're 4 points clear of Bournemouth in second. Tottenham are 5 points below us in third. And then City are 6 points behind us, and as are United. And then 7 points clear of Liverpool. So, I'm feeling great right now. Coming into the season, I thought we were going to win the league. Had a little doubts early in the season when Liverpool kept rolling out all those crazy lucky wins. But now I'm feeling really good seeing how the other teams are performing, how consistent we are. I've been saying it all season, but it's going to be our year. And I'm feeling really confident in that right now.
Yeah,
not to jinx anything, but feeling good.
Hopefully no major injuries or anything like that, knock on wood. But good on you guys because you've had the tough schedule. Now you're going into the softer part of the schedule. Seems like other teams are not in form. Like I feel like we saw this last year as well, but I feel like this is another year where it feels like just about anyone could beat anyone on their day, which is really interesting for the league because you might be able to win the league with a little bit less points than you might have had in the past. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how the title charge kind of continues to develop because I think if Liverpool don't figure it out quickly, they're going to fall off, and then the only real, I feel like legitimate competition at that point is Manchester City. Because Chelsea don't look like they're doing well. Colwell's out for the season, and I think their defense is probably the most shaky part of them without Colwell. So I don't really have faith in them really figuring it out. And I don't really see any dark horse options either. I think Bournemouth are a great team, but I don't see them having the squad depth or really the strength to go all the way. I think Spurs are slight frauds. I think they did well to bounce back this week. So I'll definitely give them their credit there. I think they looked better versus I think it was Everton that they just played. Really good performance from them. Sunderland, obviously, I don't think will be in and around the top 4 going into the rest of the season. No disrespect to them. United, I don't see us making a title charge. I think we could be in and around Champions League, Europa League spots. I'll touch on this a little bit, but we do have a nice upcoming schedule, and we're sitting nice point-wise, but we'll see how that goes. So it's really just if Liverpool can kind of get their stuff together or City.
Yeah, that's what I feel too. I'd love to see another team kind of be consistent and make a charge just to shake things up because it really only has been Arsenal, Liverpool, and City over the past few seasons that have really been going after the title. But like you said, I just can't see any other team be consistent enough with how tough it is to win consistently in the Premier League.
Yeah, I just don't think anyone else is built like that. I would have said, I wouldn't say Crystal Palace would make a title charge, but I would have thought they would be further up. But I do wonder how they'll do with the rotation because it seems like one thing I noticed or I heard it on a podcast was I feel like Glasner actually does not like to rotate his players. He's got a lot of players playing a lot of minutes in. I think that's okay for now, but we've seen their form kind of fall off the last 4 or so matches ever since they lost that first game after that 17-game unbeaten streak. And it'll be really interesting to see if their squad can kind of stay healthy because I think they've got a few players in certain positions that if they lose those players, I think they could not fall off a cliff, but really be hurt by that. So.
Yeah, they just didn't sign anyone for depth over the summer when they knew they're going to have Europe this season. So I don't see how they can have a sustained run in the Premier League with all the extra minutes from Europe without a deep squad.
Yep, because even they played some no-name team in what are they in the Conference League, right? Because they couldn't join the Europa League. So they played some no-name team in the Conference League, and I looked at their lineup just to see maybe they rotated there, and they almost played all their starters. It felt like and. Even the players that they did rotate, they ended up having to bring them on because they were losing in that match. Yeah, I think they did eventually lose that match. Maybe I don't even remember now that I think about it.
Pull it up real quick.
I'm looking at it.
They lost to AEK Lamaka October 23rd.
Yeah, they did, and they played all their heavy hitters was the thing. So they didn't all start, but yeah. Anyway,
they basically started a full strength team.
Yeah, I feel like there was just
they rotated 2 players maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So not good signs.
Please start Nketiah in Europe so I can confidently buy Mateta on my wild card and play him.
Yeah, that's what I want too, man. I've been itching to get Mateta. I just didn't want to bring him in versus you guys.
Yeah.
You got anything else Arsenal though?
No, nothing else.
All right. We can move over to Manchester United. United played Brighton this weekend, ended up winning that one 4-2. That's 3 wins on the bounce for Ruben Amorim and his squad. Let's start with team selection. Mostly the same team that faced Liverpool. We dropped Mount for Sesko. I think Mount picked up a knock midweek. He's all right though. Like he'll be back by next week. And then same with Harry Maguire. So they both dropped out of the squad. Euro came back in, but I also think Sesko. I think Amram's got enough choices in that front line between Mount, Mbumo, Sesko, Cunha, that he's just going to rotate them all throughout the season just based on whatever tactics he wants to go with for that game. So I didn't think it was a big deal that Mount was dropped and Sesko came back in or anything like that.
Was Maguire, do you have an injury you said, or was that just selection? Okay.
Both Maguire and Mount picked up small knocks, but I think they're both supposed to be okay. It was just kind of like a leave them out of the team, let them fully recover because we don't really need them for the week type of deal.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know that, so I was pretty surprised to see Maguire not starting after seeing his braces last week.
Yeah, exactly. But going into the match, I guess just to give you a quick summary, I missed I missed the second half being at my girlfriend's birthday lunch, but went and tried to rewatch some of it. But the game in general was good from United. I thought they played well most of the game. Cunha started off the scoring early around the 24th minute. He got his first goal for the club, which is really nice to see. I know he's been really, really wanting that. I feel like he's just been spraying shots, just looking to get that first goal. And he joked about it in the post-match press conference saying Sesko got his and Mbumo got his. And like everyone's like, man, when are you going to get yours? So he finally got his as well.
He looked relieved and very happy.
He did. He looked so happy.
And all the players were happy for him.
Super happy for him. Yeah, exactly. I think everyone could tell that like they just wanted to get that monkey off his back a little bit. And then second goal came later in that first half from Casemiro. We won the ball back high up the pitch. I think I forget who it was, but Casemiro basically had time on the ball and he was trying to curl it around the defender, I think, but ended up hitting the defender's back and deflecting right in the goal. So bit of fortune, but that's what happens when you're a team in form. So we'll take it after a lot of time with some poor luck. And I want to give a special shout out here to Casemiro because he's actually been playing pretty well. Like, I think you can tell he doesn't quite have the legs in some moments, but he is playing really intelligently, trying to take care of the ball as much as he can. He's not quite a retention specialist with the ball, but I think he's doing a little bit better about not just like first time hoofing the ball up the field to no one like and just hoping on it. And so I just want to give a shout out to him because I think a lot of people tried to say he was done, he was washed, but I think he's starting in our midfield by merit, not just by, obviously you've got Ugarte, who's his competition, who's not, I don't rate that highly. Kabi Manu could get into that team, but I think Casemiro is deserving of his starting spot right now. So I want to give him a quick shout out there. And then going into the second half, after being up 2-0, Sesko had a nice little touch and then played Mbumo in for his third goal, and we went up 3-0. And then that's when the cracks started to form a little bit. Casemiro comes off around the 70th, and Brighton start building up a little bit more pressure. We're not really – that's like I'll talk about this maybe in a second, but my one gripe with United is we are consistently playing long right now. And I think one thing that playing short from goal kicks does is it gives you a little bit more control over the game if you can do it well. And so because we don't do that, Brighton were able to kind of grow themselves back into the game. Danny Welbeck, Mr. Inevitable right now, scored a free kick. I think Lamans could have done better on the free kick. I'm not really sure what happened. I don't know if he just wasn't expecting or what. Like, I thought it wasn't really like in the corner. It was still a great hit, but like not quite in the corner.
You expect him to save that.
Exactly. So that was interesting. And then I think pressure was on from there. And then Brighton go and score a second one in stoppage time. And it looked like Xerxes just kind of fell asleep on the second set, or on the set piece. I'm not exactly sure what happened there either. I think it was they just made a run to the near post and Xerxes just got beat to it. And I want to just chalk that up maybe to a lack of match sharpness. He hasn't played a whole lot of minutes. I think that was like his second time playing for the team all season across all competitions. So I'll cut him a little slack there. And then, you think pressure's on, 5 minutes in stoppage time left. Will Manchester United collapse again? But they responded well again, put the high press on to Brighton, won the ball, and Aiden Heaven plays a ball in from basically half field first time. And if you watch the replays, Bruno does so well.
Yeah.
He does like a quick little left scan and sees Mbeumo making the run behind him and just leaves it, and the ball falls right to Mbeumo, who finishes it top bins, which is really good, nice to see. So I really loved, I think my takeaways from this game was I love that we played so well against a Brighton team that's given us so much trouble. Over the last 3 years, I think they've beaten us 6 out of 7 matches that we played or something crazy like that. And they've beaten us at home at Old Trafford 3 years in a row. They are our bogey team. Something about them we just could not figure out. I think because they're just so good at exploiting tactical weaknesses, and we've been so tactically weak. But I think the United team did a good job to basically but put up a much more team performance here and come away with 3 points.
Mm-hmm. I really like that fourth goal. Like you said, Bruno, really smooth, cheeky, dummy, and then the emphatic finish by Mbeumo, just hitting it hard. Like, it's always rising, hits the top of the net really hard. Very aesthetically pleasing goal from front to back. And good on Aiden having to get the assist. Nice first time pass after coming up to intercept the ball.
Yeah, and I think those are first minutes as well.
I was going to say, from a player who's gotten very few minutes, if any, this season.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's maybe made a last 2-3 minutes of the game appearance, and I think that's it for him as well. So, other shout outs from this game that I just want to talk about is I thought it was not a complete performance. I think United could have been better, but I liked how good our high press was against Brighton at kind of winning the ball back. I think that's where a lot of our best chances came from, which is something that I'm excited to see because I have been skeptical of our ability to implement a high press against teams. And then the summer signings for United all kind of shown and are coming, really feel like they're starting to gel. I think Cunha and Mbeumo, we knew what they were. They were top Premier League players at their respective clubs before they came to United. But Cunha finally getting his goal contribution to show for some of the really good play that I think he's had over the last few weeks. And Mbeumo got 5 goal contributions in his last 4 games or 3 or 4 games, something like that. So he's really finding form. And I love just how Mbeumo keeps showing up for the team in big moments. And then Sesko doesn't quite have the goals and assists. He's got 2 goals, but he just got another assist to Mbeumo. But I think his overall all-around play has been really good, and I've actually been really, really pleased with him. I think I was a little bit skeptical of his value for money at the time, and I'm not quite ready to say that, he's totally worth the money at this moment. But I think he's definitely showing really good signs of adapting to the league. I think he was a little bit slow in his play, and he's starting to speed up and think a little bit faster for the Premier League, and I think he's going to be a really good striker for us moving forward. I'm definitely... No offense to you guys, but definitely glad we ended up getting Sesko instead of Gyökeres. And also, honestly, I'm glad we got Sesko instead of Ollie Watkins at this point as well.
Yeah, Ollie's been anonymous this year, which is surprising because he's been so consistent lately. Mm-hmm. But my takeaway from the game was you guys not crumbling at the end, because in the past, this is the type of game where you fall under the pressure and concede another goal and end up drawing it. But rather you guys went down and scored a goal to finish them off. So I think it's a change in mentality and change in confidence for you guys. So obviously I don't personally like to see that, but I'd like, in generally speaking, that's what you'd like to see in a team, as opposed to crumbling at the end, being resolute, and then finishing the team off. So that's got to be really positive and really encouraging as a United fan seeing that happen.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout, and something I wanted to touch on is the mentality switch, because we had a similar situation against Liverpool last week where they get a big goal to equalize late in the game, and you think, oh, this is exactly where the United crumble starts, and then they fought back. But, I didn't want to get too carried away with that because, it's one game. We like to show up against our rivals sometimes. We did the same thing to, I think it was Manchester City last season at one point. But to do that 2 weekends in a row and against a team like Brighton, where I think they've kind of had our number, I thought was really big. And so that to me is more of a signal of a potential shift in getting over a bit of a hump for the United team, more so than just the strict results. Is the way that they're getting the points and the performances that they're putting together. And so looking ahead at what's next for United, that's, again, 3 wins in a row. They sit in 6th place in the Premier League right now, 6 points off first, 1 point off 4th place in the Champions League spots. Good place to be right now. Obviously not trying to get carried away with anything. There's still a lot of season left to play. But if you start looking ahead, United have, out of their next 12 matches, they don't have to play Manchester City, they don't have to play Arsenal, they don't have to play Chelsea or Liverpool. So they've got a lot of the big dogs out of the way. Their most tough games are going to be, I think it's Newcastle, but they're at home to Newcastle, and then they'll play like Crystal Palace away, maybe Bournemouth away or something like that. And outside of that, they play 5 of the 6 worst teams in the league. So the schedule definitely softens up for United. So if they can take advantage of this, take advantage of the momentum, and get a good amount of points over the next couple games, they could easily be sitting top 3, 4, 5 going into the next, not the next season, but like the next half of the new year, going in the second half of the season, which would be really good for them, because I think the goal for the team is just to get back into Europe. It doesn't have to be Champions League. I think just finishing anywhere in the top, let's say 5 to 8 spots, I think was the goal for the team and what I was hoping that United could do. And so we're sitting in a good spot for that. And I'm glad we've got just a little bit of stability, but I am skeptical of this upcoming run, because I think the style of play that we've had recently has been good for the teams that we've played, as far as don't let Liverpool press you, just play over the press, win the second balls, and then go out their back line. I think we're really, really well built for that. We have really great ball winners in the midfield between Casemiro, Bruno, Cunha, Mount. Those type of guys just really sniff out the ball in the midfield. And I think it worked really well, again, versus Brighton, who's a team that does like to press high and cause you issues. I'm not sure how well that'll work against a team like Spurs, like Everton, like Crystal Palace, who are really physical midfields and physical teams that also aren't going to like put as much of an emphasis on pressing you high. So I think that's going to be the next kind of test for this Emirates team. Like, can we win in different types of ways? I think we might struggle a little bit, because it's a similar situation to what we saw against Fulham, where we kind of struggled at the beginning of the season to really create consistent chances against teams that kind of play in that like mid block and are just okay with defending and being compact. So that's what I'm looking forward to as a United fan. I think that'll be something. And then also AFCON is coming up. I forget when exactly that starts, what game week that is, but we're going to lose 17.
Maybe 15 or 17. I'm not quite sure.
Either way, around then, I think it's like around December, and we are going to lose Mbumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui. Mazraoui's not playing that many minutes right now, but Mbumo and Ahmad are what's making our right side click. So I think that's something that we're going to have to figure out for those few games as well. I'm hoping and praying that Andre Onana does his best to throw for Cameroon and they get knocked out in the first round and we get Mbumo back earlier than we might think. But we'll see.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how you guys do against, like you said, like a more of a lower block team. I think it'll be big. The keys might be for Bruno to get more forward, because he's been playing a lot deeper and be creative, and then for Cunha to play in those spaces and really create and score some goals. Yeah,
hopefully we get a couple of Sesko headers in there as well.
Mbumo is really good on the counter, so yes, will be important, but not as key. I think Bruno and Cunha will be important for you guys to perform well and score goals.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. But regardless, I think it feels good to be more excited for games than nervous going into them as of right now. I do feel like Amram's kind of... Yeah, exactly. I feel like Amram's kind of figured it out, not in the sense that like he's ready to put on any sort of like title charge or anything like that, but I think he's helped add some stability back into the team. All right. Anything else United? If not, we can jump over to looking ahead to Game Week 10.
Yeah, no, nothing else for me. Let's do our Game Week 10 predictions.
Nice. So it looks like you made up some ground on me last week.
Yeah, you had a 2-point lead on me. I got 4 correct last week. You got 3 correct. So it is currently 26-25 in your favor.
Nice. Tough week last week, I guess. I'm trying to think of the ones. I got United right, obviously. We both got Bournemouth, Arsenal, and then I guess there was just so many upsets between City, that Chelsea game. Yeah, Everton Spurs didn't quite go the way we thought either. All right.
Yeah, Wolves disappointed at home.
Yep.
And a lot of the late goals, too, like switched up outcomes.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, let's look ahead to game week 10. I will go first. I think I'll just go first since I have a 1 point lead on you.
Okay.
Give you a chance to think a little bit harder about yours.
All right, cool. I was going through. I thought these were pretty strict. Like I felt pretty confident and felt like they were pretty easy to pick without thinking too hard on them. Whereas last week I thought it was pretty difficult to choose some of those. But this week I didn't have too much of a hard time picking them. So we'll see if you land kind of similar to what I was thinking. And at the end of the week, if that proves to be true, or if there's a lot of upsets, or we just get things wrong. But
I'll try not to look at your notes here, so I don't get any ideas.
I'll call them out if you're ready.
All right. Yep.
Crystal Palace versus Brentford.
Okay, Crystal Palace versus Brentford. Palace are at home, so I'll give them the edge there. Crystal Palace.
All right. Nottingham Forest versus United.
I got United.
Yeah. Burnley versus Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Brighton versus Leeds.
Brighton versus Leeds. Ooh, I think that should actually be a fun one, but I'm gonna say Brighton just because Brighton are at home.
Yeah. Fulham versus Wolves.
I'll give I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna pick the draw here.
Tottenham versus Chelsea.
Well, that's gonna be a fun one. I didn't realize they were having that game.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham versus Chelsea. I'm gonna go draw in this one as well.
Liverpool versus Villa.
Liverpool can't lose 5 in a row, right? Ooh, this is a tough one again, but I'm gonna go Liverpool. They're back at home. Yeah, I'm going Liverpool.
All right. West Ham versus Newcastle.
I'm gonna go Newcastle. The West Ham just looks so pitiful.
Yeah, so bad. City versus Bournemouth.
I'm gonna go City. I think they bounce back.
And then Sunderland versus Everton.
I'm gonna go with Everton.
All right. I'm excited for the City versus Bournemouth game. I think that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be an exciting one. Like I think they'll make it a fun game for sure.
Yeah, because like Bournemouth are so excited. City, I mean, I didn't watch the Villa game, but it was 1-0 the entire game after like a pretty early-ish Villa goal. So it didn't seem like it was that exciting, but that's Villa. But I think playing as Bournemouth, they'll come out to play, and then it'll give Holland and City opportunities to attack.
Yeah, I think they'll open it up. Okay. Let's move on to your picks then. Right. Going back to the top, let's talk Crystal Palace versus Brentford.
I like Palace at home.
All right, fair enough. Easy enough. Let's go Nottingham Forest versus United.
Picking United, I think only for the second time this season, but Forest are so bad, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from United.
Yeah, I'm scared that they might get their bounce or like have an extra week to kind of figure out what Dyche wants to do, but we'll see. Burnley versus Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yep. Brighton versus Leeds.
I like Brighton at home a lot.
There you go.
And it's not partially why I'm playing my wild card, but I'm excited to hopefully have Welbeck at home versus Leeds. So I like that matchup a lot, even though Leeds have been good.
Yeah. Then we've got Fulham versus Wolves.
Fulham at home. Wolves have been terrible this season, so I like Fulham.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel a little bit worse about my draw pick already, but I need a little something. It never goes exactly how you think, right? Spurs versus Chelsea.
This one is a hard one to pick. I'm going to go with Tottenham at home. I'm liking a lot of these home fixtures this weekend, but it could definitely be a draw. I could see this being, like you said, a fun, interesting game. I really don't know how this one's going to go, but I'm just going to go with Tottenham just because they're at home, and Chelsea looks pretty bad lately.
Yeah, I feel like Chelsea just haven't looked very convincing. I feel like it's hard to pick like an exciting game for Spurs. Like I feel like they're just not an exciting team right now. But hopefully the Derby vibes can kind of bring out an exciting one here. But
that's what I'm hoping.
Like that.
And like Tottenham coming off a nice 3-0 win. I'm assuming the confidence is going to be high coming into this, which is why I'm going with them at home. But yeah, it's hard to say how this one's gonna turn out.
Yep. Next one is Liverpool versus Aston Villa.
No draw here. Don't like what I'm seeing enough from Liverpool. Don't like what I'm seeing from Villa either, but it's got draw written on it for me. I think it's going to be like just a poor game. Like I said, Villa aren't fun to watch. Liverpool haven't been good. I think it's going to be like a really shitty game. Low scoring draw.
I could see that. I think it's like I haven't been that impressed with what I've seen from Villa, but Liverpool at home is still Liverpool at home, so they could be tough. Like I think if Liverpool score early, I think they could win somewhat easily, just because I have my doubts about Villa's ability to kind of take it to teams. But if Villa can kind of get to that like 45-minute, like halftime to 60th minute with like a 0-0 scoreline or something like that, I could see them keeping it boring, maybe nicking one and then winning or drawing. Let's see. Next one is West Ham versus Newcastle.
West Ham is terrible.
Yeah, I just kind of feel bad for them at this point. They look demoralized, and I think it was Paqueta scored one that ended up being offside, and they all just kind of like, I cannot believe that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. And then City versus Bournemouth.
I'm going to go draw here. Like I said, this should be a fun game. I like Bournemouth a lot so far this season. It'll be interesting to see if Krupi starts, if Evan Nelson's healthy, but I like a draw here.
Yeah, I wonder, can you bench Krupi with the form that he's in?
Yeah, it's against City, though, which is tough away, but not that they've been like that great defensively, but they've been good. Hard to say, but Krupi's on fire right now.
Yeah. It would be tough for him, at least. Come in, take your chance, and just get benched, but we'll see. And then last game is Sunderland versus Everton.
This one's a hard one to pick, but I like Sunderland at home. They've just been so solid. I like their fight, and I like Everton a lot this season, but I'm going Sunderland at home.
I gotcha. Yeah, I can't really argue with that. I really like Sunderland's manager. I've heard him speak a couple times. He seems like a very intelligent but also very down to earth guy. I think it's not a mistake that they're doing this well. Nice. All right. Well, that is it for our picks. We'll see how it rounds up. I'll get my picks in the sheet after this so we can keep track. But I'm definitely excited. I feel like there's a few really good games this weekend, actually. Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a wild card too, so I'm going to be extra excited to watch the games with the new FPL team. So should be a good weekend for footy, and just like a fun weekend in general. We got Halloween on Friday in my neighborhood. There's a big porch fest, block party basically. So should be a lot of fun this weekend. Yeah, should be. I'm excited to watch the footy. I'm excited to tinker with my FPL team as well. I've got 3 free transfers that I've kind of stacked up that I want to use to switch up the team. I just have so many tough decisions between the Arsenal one is really just what's messing me up because I've got triple Arsenal. I just don't feel like I have the right triple Arsenal, and everything kind of hinges on that decision on what else I can do with my team. And they're expensive, so it's hard to move them around.
Exactly. And I want to get rid of Reinders probably. I don't think he's a bad pick, but I would like to maybe get a more reliable pick because right now my dead spots at attack are not dead spots, but Reinders and Calvert-Lewin are my 2 cheapest options.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to get someone more reliable because 9 times out of 10 I don't want to be playing Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of movement in FPL this weekend. It sounds like from a couple of the pods I listened to, a lot of people have stacked up transfers. I think the price rise will be flying this week. It looks like Mbeumo, Gabriel, and Rice, and Munoz are all rising tonight, most likely.
Wow.
Yeah. And Mbeumo just went up on Saturday, too, or on Friday, going into this last weekend.
I need to get Dorgu out of my team, too. I knew it was a risk holding on to him. I wanted to actually transfer him out last week, but then I had doubts to Anderson and Alderete.
Oh, yeah.
And so if I moved anyone, I felt like I had to move those guys, even though I still think they're good picks and they're going to come back soon. So I was like, I'll just hold on to Dorgu, save my transfers, get some more information, but now he just dropped in price again.
Oof.
So I feel like I got to get rid of him sooner rather than later. I just don't really know what direction to go. So lots of decisions to make FPL-wise for me.
Yeah, that was also part of the reason I play my wild card. There's just, I think, a lot of price rises happening, and I don't want to fall too big in a hole, especially with Gabriel. He's rising again. He's just on fire and rising like crazy. I need to hop on that ASAP.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think he's up there with the most risen players. Semenyo's gone up a whole mil.
Yeah.
Same with Senesi. And there's a couple other people. Holland's already gone up like zero point 0.7 or something like
Yeah,
that.
he's
Like
about
there's
to
a few
rise
players.
again like tomorrow or something.
Yeah, so definitely want to get on the train there if you can. Like I think my team value is doing okay. I just don't want it to go back to being average.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else before we wrap up though?
No, I don't think anything else I'm in. Looking for the footy this weekend, like I said.
All right. Well, then we can end it there. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. As I said at the beginning, please like, comment, subscribe. It really does help a lot. Share with a friend. And we will catch up with you guys at the end of Game Week 10. Hopefully there's some more great stories to talk about. But for now, we'll see you later.
Yeah, enjoy the weekend of soccer.